Urban survival for the years to come. Urban survival for the years to come. We already started. We on chapter 3. We got 2 chapters down. We didn't read food. We about to read water. We're gonna get in that water. See what she got to say about water. We read food. We read urban survival in the hood. So let's get right into it, man. Right into it. You know, she's been making some key points. So I hope that if you are watching this, you can take notes, get you about being prepared. You're gonna be moving in the spirit of fear. So we're gonna keep going though. The Urban Survival for Years to Come by Miss Shahrazad Ali. Remember, this is copywritten in 1999. This is also my first time reading this book, so we are reading them together. We are reading each chapter together. All right, so let's get it done. Water. Let's see what they're going to talk about in water. Chapter 3, water. How to get it, how to store it, and how to purify it. Normally, healthy individuals can live for a little over 3 weeks without food, but we can only live without water for about 10 days. A human can survive on as little as 4 ounces of water a day if necessary. We live in such a wasteful society. We throw away perfectly good food and water daily. Consumers, us, and businesses waste a tremendous amount of food compared to other countries. Oh, yes, indeed. That's why I don't believe in the what they talk about there's not enough food in the world to feed everybody. There's so much food being thrown away on the daily. So much food being thrown away on a daily. All that food that look good, man, that could be given to the homeless. That can be given to people who are hungry. It's too much food. Each person in your household will need at least 1 gallon of water per day to be used for everything from drinking to personal hygiene. This is quite a bit less than the usual 50 gallons or so per day we are accustomed to using for showers and baths, flushing the toilet, washing hands, brushing teeth, drinking and cooking, and rinsing off various kitchen objects. You can add to this water in your household plants and filling the dog and cat dishes, doing the laundry, or washing the dishes. We take the running water for granted. Oh yes, most of us do. Many of us don't even know where our local sources of water comes from. The first thing we need to be aware of is that water is very heavy and takes a lot of space. A gallon jug of water weighs a whopping 8 pounds. A whopping end of the year. That would be over 200 gallons of water weighing about 1,600 pounds. Damn. Another option is to store your water in those 5-gallon plastic water jugs used for those portable rented water coolers. Sometimes you can purchase these from the supplying company. But the most expedient way to store water in your home, our neighborhoods, is to just wash and clean out the 2 to 3 liter soda pop plastic bottles and fill them with regular tap water from your faucet. To treat the water so it will stay purified, drop several drops of basic bleach, Clorox, in each bottle. Use a standard dropper, such as the ones that come with herbal medicines or tinctures in it. You can purchase these at drugstores or wash and rinse one out that you already have. This is called the basic bleach water treatment method. 5.25% sodium hydrochloride. Don't worry about poisoning the water from using bleach. This is the scientific recommended method. If the water from your faucet is cloudy, just double the amount of bleach in the bottle. 4 drops, 3 liter bottle, 6 drops, 1 gallon jug, 8 drops, a half a gallon jug, 8 drops, a quart, 2 drops, 5-gallon jug, a half a teaspoon. If your water is cloudy, double the drop amount. If you have a basement, garage, enclosed porch, or balcony, you can store as much water as you have space for. Keep it in a darkened place if possible and cover it with a tarp or heavy dark plaid tub and save about 15 to 20 gallons more. If you have access to your hot water heater, turn it off, drain it, and you can have another 40 to 75 gallons. The tank on the back of your toilet, clean water, will give you about 3 gallons more. So clean it out and stop using those blue deodorizing tablets or any other fragrance pellets. It may be winter, so rain and snow water can be collected in clean buckets. If you know how, you can also siphon in some way and pour it in the bottles. Do not use regular milk cartons to store water in. Why? Why not? They are biodegradable and will burst or leak within a few months. And do not use metal containers unless they are made of stainless steel. If you have a waterbed, it will hold a lot of water. Always remember to purify any water coming from an unusual source so as to destroy algae and any other microorganisms. Odd water sources outside the homes: fire trucks, fire hydrants, pet shops, indoor pools at hotels, laundromats. Boil or purify all sources. Spas and restaurants also have available water. Schools and recreation centers, they have pools. And ice companies all have some type of water in mass or frozen ice cubes. You will search everywhere if you run out of water. Oh, yes, you will. There are 3: ceramic or sand filter. The best method of sterilizing water is to boil it for at least 10 minutes to kill bacteria and viruses. Iodine tablets, called water purification tablets, are available at sporting goods, outdoor camping, or mountain climbing stores. These tablets should not be used over a couple of weeks, and only if you have nothing else. You may have access to other unique sources of water, but please consider it all contaminated and use one of the above purification procedures to cleanse it. Yeah, think of it all as contaminated. If you live near a park, pond, or lake, you can collect water from there and use it to wash clothes after adding bleach and detergent as usual. But your problem will be transporting it back to your location. Buy a washboard, an indoor clothes drying rack, along with a large plastic or metal container for washing clothes. Put them in the tub. Put them in the tub and stomp them out. This project starts in winter, so it will be very cold outside most of the time. If you are able to survive until spring, consider yourself lucky or blessed. Preserve your water. Some people who have dirt in their backyards may try to drill a small well to get water from beneath the surface of the earth. Drilling a backyard well will cost about $2,000 to $3,000, and that was then, so it's higher now. But will be well worth the expense when the time comes. Call your city hall and find out about zoning laws regarding digging a well. Save water. At all costs, save water. We cannot live without it. It is also a good idea to purchase some of the waterless shampoos for a brush out. You will not have a lot of water to waste on long, luxurious hair washing, perms, and using hair color. Or using hair color, deodorants, and any other daily personal hygiene products you use. Do not worry about brand names or special fragrances. Just get a large quantity of body products, including toothpaste and mouthwash. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. When it rains, you can create some kind of funnel or cistern system to drain the water from your roof and roof pipes or from your windowsill. Rainwater is usually considered pure enough to drink or wash your hair in. 1 inch of rain falling on 50 square feet of surface makes about 25 to 30 gallons. If you are going to collect this from your roof, keep in mind that 1 cubic foot of space holds about 7 gallons of water. And if you multiply that 7 gallon times 8 pounds per gallon, you are adding 56 extra pounds of weight per every cubic feet of water on your roof. It would actually be safer to put large containers on your roof to collect the rainwater in. The child's plastic swimming pool, weighed down with rocks, will work well as well. You can easily pick out the debris, or you can purchase a deluxe portable water purification system for about $80, which is certified to meet the US EPA standards for purification against cysts and viruses without the use of pesticidal chemicals. It will filter out sediment, silt, dirt, rust, algae, and radioactive particles and other contaminants. Man, my nose is running. Sanitation and human waste disposal. Oh, that's a good one right there. That's a good one right there. Sanitation and waste disposal. No matter what you eat or drink, you and your whole family will still have to use the toilet. Oh, yeah. Once the water system is no longer functional and there is no system to remove human sewage, you will need a new way to get rid of urine and bowel movements. First, you drain all the water out of the bowl. Excuse me. First, you drain all of the water out of the tank on the deck of your toilet. The bowl will have a little water left in it. Clean it out with bleach or pine sol and put an empty, strong plastic bag inside the bowl. Fold the edges over the outside of the toilet bowl. Tape them down with duct tape if possible, and allow your family to use it. The toilet several tie it off and find some place to bury it underground. This system will also work with a sturdy bucket. Mm-hmm. You can go to Walmart and buy the toilet seats for a 5-gallon bucket. Put your good trash bag in there and a little cat litter, and it'll work. 5 times to more than 5 times to use it. You can dump your baby wipes. Baby wipes will help as well. You can dump your baby wipes in there, your toilet paper in there, and then you find a place to find a hole and dig it in and drop it in or burn it in, or one of the two. But watch, them fumes gonna be coming off of that thing if you're burning it, boy. Oh man. But definitely dig you a hole. Or if you got to, you dig your cat hole, what we call in the army, man. You dig your little hole in the ground and squat over that hole. Squat over that hole. Outhouse. Make your outhouse. This system will also work with a sturdy bucket that you can also line with a strong plastic bag. If you use the bucket system, use 2 buckets or pots, one for urine and one for feces. A plastic 5-gallon bucket is a good choice. You can buy a toilet seat and lid to put on the top of it. You have at least 2 small shovels for this purpose. Nothing can create flies, maggots, rats, or roaches faster than improper disposal of human waste. Pre-select a spot near your house where there is a dirt lot or a park. Bury your waste as deep as you can. You can dig an ample deep hole and put a couple of boards across it so that you can use it a few times before covering it back up with dirt. Cover it well. Stock several pair of heavy plastic gloves and disposable face masks. All it will take is a few undercaring, nasty people to start using the bathroom on the street for the entire neighborhood to have rat and disease problems. Composting toilets, a waterless solution, are convenient and require no plumbing. It is self-contained, uses no chemicals, and is odor-free. Compost and chemical toilets are available in survival and camping stores. The latter has chemical salts, which help break down the waste and reduce the odor. It is also possible to buy certain other chemical solutions and aid in the disposal of human excrement and reduce the smell. Stock ammonia and disinfectants for the use of sanitation system. Wear a mask. Toilet paper is a must. Start now and buy as much toilet paper as you can. You know, it's funny she said that because you saw whenever what it was, people got stuck in the house, man. That was one of the things that they was getting, they was worried about. Toilet paper. Toilet paper, toilet paper. My bad, excuse me. My nose. Start now and buy as much toilet paper as you can. Buy the cheapest you can find and store it in a dry place. Monitor how much each person uses daily, because nothing is worth. Since you will not be flushing anything down the toilet, you can also buy extra paper table napkins, soft paper towels, and nose tissues. All of these can be used as toilet paper in an emergency. Also wet wipes. Toilet paper will be like money, and you will be able to use it for barter and trade to get other things you may need. Toilet paper is a luxury. Toilet paper is a luxury. Ooh. Now I think I'm gonna go ahead and read chapter 4, man. I think I might go ahead and read chapter 4. Chapter 4, cooking, heating, and light replacement. Cooking, heating, and light replacement. That's all hitting the nail on the head on some of these, man. A lot of things people don't think about. A lot of things people don't think about. Let's see what else she talked about. Cooking, heating, and lighting replacement. Chapter 4. At last count, there are about 8,000 electrical power plants run by over 40 to 50 million embedded chip systems supporting 500,000 miles of high voltage power lines. Our electrical companies do not always run independently. Many of them, located all over the country, have co-joined power grids with nuclear power plants, and they are codependent on each other. About 20% of the nation's electric is generated from these interconnected power and nuclear plants. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission, the NRC, say their plants monitor nuclear radiation, and if they cannot monitor reactor coolant levels and fuel handling systems, they will shut down and withdraw their support to the various electrical power companies around the country. Additionally, all nuclear weapon systems in all nations are computer dependent and are controlled by computers with date codes. Any hint of malfunction, and the NRC is obligated by law to shut the entire plant down. They do not want to have a repeat of the devastating 1979 Three Mile Island meltdown, when radioactive particles was accidentally released into the atmosphere and prompted. Most of us are accustomed to having power outages for a few hours to a couple of days due to technical problems, weather, or outdated equipment. We tend to handle these short-lived inconveniences. Plus, we rely on warm weather or extra blankets in a period of not having a regular heat source, possibly in winter. Ooh, possibly in winter. It's getting close. We in that time now. We are in winter time now. So now is the time for you to be practicing a lot of this stuff. Now is the time. Do you have something? What would you do if your electricity to practice these things now? This stuff can happen now. What we're discussing here is an extra long period of, of not having a regular heating source, possibly in winter. If you have a fireplace, learn how to use it. Keep extra blankets and sleeping bags and extra gloves and socks. Buy a ton of those instant heat packs. They last a long time and can often be reused. Be careful of burns because these packs get really hot and last a few hours. Also keep some of this stuff in your trunk, especially blankets and heating packs. Long sleeve shirts, hoodies. Keep a couple of hats. Keep a few large trash bags for making ponchos. Hard times are hard times, and they level in the playing field in two categories. Either a plant, all you got, place it on the table in the center of the room, the light towards the ceiling, and it'll light up the entire area until the batteries run out. Living without electricity will be a real test for us because in this age of high technology, we have all this equipment that has to be fed electrically. That has to be fed electricity. You may have food and you may have water, but you will also need and want to have a way to cook or heat your food and stay warm. A good kerosene heater is best if you can manage to store up enough kerosene. The first good thing about using kerosene as fuel is that it is non-explosive. It's cost less, burns longer than other fuels, stores for an indefinite period of time, can be used for light, heat, and cooking, and can be bought for about $3 to $4 a gallon. It is inexpensive and safer to store. There are special blue wood burning stove. A wood burning stove, make your wood burning stove. You can use all the limbs that then fell from your trees outside and burn that. They got little things called rocket stoves today. You can use them. You use that. I wouldn't advise using it in the house. But for the wood burning stoves, there are pipes that you can lead out your house so that way when you're burning your wood, your smoke goes outside. You can use it as twofold, a heater and a stove. You can stay warmer with a kerosene heater. Cook on the top of it, and it will provide minimal light. Unfortunately, the first 4 months of the year are generally cold, and it will be very difficult to store enough kerosene to last for at least 4 months. If you live in a house with a fireplace, all you have to do is build up a good wood supply. A wood-burning stove is even better. A wood-burning stove is even better, but a kerosene heater is a good solution for heat in a regular apartment. Kerosene lamps are a good choice to provide a very bright light source and a little bit of warmth for hands. Those little red lanterns, similar to the ones used by the railroad, are cheap, only about $10 each. But here we go. Another thing with them kerosene lamps, you're gonna need extra wicks for them kerosene lamps. There are all sorts of other lamps, which can be fueled with kerosene or lamp oil. Lamp oil comes in pints, quarts, and gallon quantities and costs from $1.99 to $4.99. They often have a floral scent, which is good for aromatherapy to make you feel better. These lamps cost from about $10.99 to $29.99, but they are attractive and a good investment and can be carefully carried through from room to room if necessary. They are available at survival stores, department store lamp sections, and places like Kmart, Target, and Walmart. You will have to learn to perform most of your in-house tasks in front of a window to benefit from the daylight. Read, cook, and sew during the day. Sleep, talk, and make plans at night. Get your lamps before they are all gone. Invest in a few good sleeping bags. Military. There are also double-sized sleeping bags to fit 3 children or 2 adults. There are purse-sized mylar blankets made of a foil-like material designed to keep the body heat. I got a couple of them. They call it emergency blankets. Emergency blankets. If you're looking for them if you're looking for them at Walmart, you can go to the camping section and get you a couple of emergency blankets. They're probably like $1 or $2 now. $1 or $2, something like that. They also make a good rain cover, about $3 each. There are hand and body warmer packs that only require squeezing the packet to heat up. And they heat up and last for hours. They only cost about 50 cents or $1 a pack. It is a good idea to have a case of these on hand to keep hands and feet warm in the bed at night. Construction workers who work, outside often use them in their gloves or boots to keep warm. They are odorless and non-toxic. For those who have electronic and mechanical knowledge, gas-powered generators are great. They can be plugged into the wall socket with a special connection and allow you to operate your refrigerator, washer and dryer, television, if there is any, and radio. They come in 300 to 5,000 watts of available electrical power, and if you use it sparsely, they can provide you with days of electrical power. Examples of how much power wattage is required for standard appliances are microwave, 500 to 1,500 watts, radio, 30 to 100 watts, refrigerator or freezer, 600 to 2,500 watts, and television, 100 to 350 watts, electric skillet, 1,300 watts, washer, 1150 to 2,300 watts, and light bulbs as indicated on the bulb. Generators can be dangerous to maintain because they run off gasoline only. Do not store gasoline in the house. Keep the generator outside because of the fumes. The required containers are red and have the word gasoline imprinted on the red carriers. Incidentally, generators cost between $699 to about $1,500 new. An industrial model providing 1,500 watts of power costs about $10,000, or often used ones are available for less. And man, after the hurricanes, all them generators come in handy, baby. And you ain't had a generator, and that's about the right price now. You're gonna pay about $700 for a decent generator, brand new right now. If you really want to be modern, you can outfit your windows with solar panels, which provides electricity powered by the sun or bright daylight. Solar panels can be quite expensive, costing about $99 per panel, and you will need several panels to cover each window. Solar panels are jet black covered colored panels to absorb the sun's heat. You can heat some water during the day by just running it through the black pipe in the sun. You can cover any pipe with black tape or paint some PVC pipe. Another grassroots option is to use a regular car battery hooked up to an inverter to generate power to run appliances or lamps. And if you use them sparingly and manage to keep the children from playing with them, they will serve you well, especially if you, then that's going to be the key. Battery powered flashlights are good for as long as they will last. And if you use them sparingly and manage to keep the children from playing with them, they will serve you well, especially if you have a solar power battery charger. At the last and probably most popular form of alternative energy is a candle. You can buy candles that will stay lit for as long as 50 hours. They cost about $9 each. A very inexpensive candle source, $1 to $2 each, are those tall prayer candles that come in various colors in a tall cylinder-like jar. These candles have been tested to last for 7 days. Man, 7 days. Lit all day around the clock. They are cheap enough to buy by the case and are somewhat safe because the flame is always down inside the jar. They also provide a little hand heat and room heat if the doors are closed tight. Yeah, I wouldn't use that for heat. I would not use that. Do not use those 12-inch long table candles because they do not have a stand or too lightweight and have an exposed flame which can fall over and start a fire. Every lit flame you use must be enclosed in glass or covered in some way to prevent the flame from, excuse me, my bad. Every lit flame you use for light must be enclosed in glass or covered in some way to prevent the flame from touching touching other items and starting a fire. You need candles which will stay lit a long time. And these thin candles produce a lot of wax and burn too fast to be of any real benefit. Sterno candles, they are the same setup you see at buffet tables, used to keep the food warm. I wouldn't use those though. I wouldn't use those. If you got them, you got them. Use what you got. But I would use those sparingly. Use a sterno sparingly. Sterno cans of fuel can be used with a rack under aluminum pans to heat or cook food in. They are the same setup you see at the buffet tables used to keep the food warm. Sterno is relatively inexpensive and costs only about $1 a can. You will need several dozens of these if this is your choice for cooking, which I would use. Everything you purchase from a survival store will come with intensive instructions and directions to keep you from ruining your project or harming yourself. Read all that stuff. Read all them instructions and practice before. Now is the time for you to be practicing that stuff before you get into the situation. Before the shit hit the fan. Now is the time to be practicing all that. These are, you use them like turn on the TV. Let them run their phone. I wouldn't let my children have phones, but if your children have phones, let them run their phones out. Let them see how long it's going to take before they can, before their battery die of them constantly using it. And then don't let them charge it up again. Don't let them charge it up again after they've run their battery down, so they can see. They can see exactly what it's going to take and what is going to be done. Make them shit in the bucket. Hey, this weekend we ain't flushing no toilets. This weekend we ain't using no running water. Hey. Something you can prepare for during the week. During the week, you'll prepare your water storage, save up enough water, and see if you can only use the water that you have stored from that week over the weekend. See how much you will use. Start teaching these things to your children early. Start doing this. Be out of luck. You will need 7 dozen of these sternos if this is your choice for cooking. Everything you purchase from a survival store will come with an extensive instructions and directions to keep you from ruining your project or harming yourself. Read it. It's fundamental. Propane canisters are another fairly safe choice for use of operating portable camp stoves. Propane comes in various sizes and can be refilled. If you have access to a propane tank somewhere for storage, they are bulky to store. Communications, smartphones, cell phones, tablets. It wasn't so long ago that everyone was excited about having a beeper to contact each other to send a short message or ask for a return call. Today, technology has grown so fast, especially in the era of cell phones. Some of them can cost almost $1,000, depending on what types of services you want. We lose them, break them, break the screens and drop them in toilets, but we replace them immediately because we believe we need them to survive. But you don't. Look at my Google. I got Google. I got my Google sitting right behind me. My Google is right behind me. If I drop my phone or the electricity go out and I don't know something, I still got Google, baby. Google. My encyclopedias, dictionaries, how-to books. That's my Google. I got a Blockbuster in the other room. Man, should I rent out DVDs to my people? Hey, bring my shit back. I don't need Netflix. I got Blockbuster. I got DVDs from my rack in 2004 that still work. Bootleg DVDs from my rack. Shit, my Blockbuster is extensive. But if there are power outages, hurricanes, earthquakes, economic disruptions, job losses, epidemics, blizzards, or food shortage crises, telephones will not work and you will not have your normal means of communication. Telephones, to us, are essential, but since the telephones will not be functional, you will need an alternative method of communication so you can stay in touch with some of the rest of the world and not feel so isolated and know what's going on around you and across the nation. Your choices are walkie-talkies, CB radios, handheld shortwave radios. But a lot of them, you're going to need batteries still. You're going to still need batteries for these things. Unless you get one of them, they got some crank ones you can use. These are other communication systems. These and other communication systems are available at hardware and camping stores. None of our communication systems are independent. Some need batteries only, but your smartphone will have to be charged to send a text or receive emails. Of course, while it's unlikely that all of these systems will go down at the same time, remember that during any disaster, cell phone towers get overloaded. Of course, those of us who still have an old-fashioned landline will be able to communicate for a longer time. A house phone, another instrument which is a bit independent, is a solar-operated radio with a hand crank. You'll need a radio anyway to keep abreast of any announcements that may affect your neighborhood. Drills are periodically done by the military to examine the entrances and exits to urban areas, monitor behavior in highly populated zones, and make provisions to control certain vicinities in the civil disorder emergency. Plans were made during the 60s riots and updated in 1992 after the Rodney King uprising in Los Angeles. In recent history, we have seen the military or National Guard in action to control protesters in several cities where citizens were reacting to the seemingly random shooting or murder of an African-American man and woman across the country. The police now have modern weaponry purchased from the government left over from some of their wars. Big tanks and guns were seen on the streets of our cities, mimicking a war zone overseas. This is not the kind of emergency planning we want to look forward to. The so-called law keepers showed the rest of us that Black lives did not matter, and neither did any other kind that they were in disagreement with their orders. It's safer to remain in home if all possible. It is safer to remain at home if all possible. But you can only do that if you have stored up and prepared yourself. While everybody else is running like a chicken with their head cut off, you should be chilling in your house with your windows boarded up. Chilling, just chilling. Sit back, chilling, rationing out what you have so that way you can make it last longer. And don't go out your house unless you have to, maybe to get rid of your waste, like urine and your feces, to get rid of that, get it out of your house. Get rid of food waste, get that out your house. In some areas, you can burn your trash. So you'll have to start making use of that. And burning your trash while doing these things, you have to start thinking. Those are things that you can help use to develop other things. In your trash burning system, you could use if you could find or make a piping system, you can run water through that piping system that sits in the embers. So while it's burning, it'll heat your water, and you can have that thing running back into the house and have hot water, just like a hot water tank. And it can be gravity fed to the Red Cross site. Whether it's an act of God or an international act by people, anarchy, or any other kind of civil unrest, we have to be ready if you want to live. If you want to live. Examples of first aid: Band-Aids, sterile dressing pads, gauze rolls, antibacterial hand wipes, latex gloves, adhesive tape, antibacterial ointment, cold pads, scissors, tweezers, face masks, pencils and papers and whistles. And shit, if you can shoot for it, get you a stethoscope. Get you a stethoscope, get you a thermometer, and a couple other little things that you think you might need. You can add on any other items you choose. Keep this sack or backpack in a special area to be handy when you need it. And also rotate those. Rotate the thing in your first aid kits as well. These are read the packages. There are expiration dates on some medicines. Read the packages. There are expiration dates on some of the medicines. Some stuff don't last forever. So check and see what you got and rotate it. Always go through it. You should be using that first aid kit on a regular. You should know what you have available for you. It's gonna be like gold, baby. All about the Benjamins. Banks, including ATMs and MACs or machines, all use computers to keep up with the money and trade transactions. What if banks go down too? Which is almost a surety if the electric power goes off. Right now, 40% of Americans play the Wall Street stock market, and blacks are more involved in investing their money in stock, mutual funds, etc., than at any other time in our history. We also hold more jobs in that category than ever before. Computers have paved the way for both of these activities to take place. Others of us spend a lot of time maxing out our credit cards. We use our debit card from the bank sometimes almost daily. Then there are those security deposit credit cards which require a cash deposit to get a credit card that says either MasterCard or Visa. We are all allowed to use the card as if it were a real one until our security deposit runs out. All of these transactions are run by computers, which are interconnected all over the world so that we can use our credit cards nationally and internationally if we so choose. We, the Americans, spend over $119 billion a year gambling. We have casinos in 39 states and lotteries in 45. Blacks spend a lot of money daily playing the lottery and other games of choice. Some of us believe that hitting the lottery is the only sure way we will ever become rich. There is constant cash flow of some kind in our communities daily. Little do most of us know that our banks process transactions every few minutes in a new age of cyberspace money. Only 3% of America money is in circulation. The other 97% is done on computer screens. Money transfers are nearly instantaneous. While we may think that America has all the money and technology, 7 of the world's 10 largest banks are located in Tokyo, Japan, not here. While Wall Street on Wall Street and big banking conglomerates are not considered in our usual, what happens to them affects our wallets daily and directly. When the bank goes offline and are unable to process transactions, make transfers, cash checks, or conduct any other financial business, the entire country will financially default. It is a good idea to start saving any money you can. Any money you can. We traditionally do not have the good track record for saving money. You know, and that's why I pick up change everywhere I go. If I see it on the ground, it's getting picked up. Save them pennies. Save your pennies. Save your nickels and dimes. You know, keep a little cash on you. Cash stacked away. You should have some money saved, because if the banks go down, people will only take what's available to you in your pockets and in your hand. Baby. We insist on instant gratification. And as soon as we get any money, we already have a plan about what to spend it on. A saving plans for us has to be tailored to our lifestyle. We will have to try saving in small increments, like saving small change, not pennies, but save them too. And for once, small change may be your best bet. Silver coins, especially those minted prior to 1956, are about 90% real silver. Especially silver coins, especially those minted prior to 1965. My bad, prior to 1965. So always look at the dates on your change. Look at the dates on your change. Coins prior to 1965 are about 90% real silver. They are referred to as junk silver, but silver is still silver. They will be a good tool to use to make purchases. Of course, if you have gold coins, you will be able to get just about anything you want. But gold in any form is currency. Gold in any form is currency. Earrings, necklaces, bracelets, nuggets. Gold in any form is currency. There is no gold-backed currency in the world. All currency is backed by debt and public faith. Just as during the Depression in the 1930s, there would be people organized to do business deals of all kinds, attempting to capitalize on the desperation of others. During the Depression era, people would gladly trade their solid gold watches and diamond rings for a loaf of bread or even an apple when things got really tough and their cash money was no good and they were hungry. People also sold their real estate properties for little or nothing. It was during that time that many white businessmen got their financial start and garnered large blocks of properties obtained for outrageously low prices. Blacks had just come up out of slavery for about 75 years, and our families were in the most desperate situation of all, especially in the North. Expect this to happen again. You can expect it to happen again. Expect this to happen again on a variety of levels. The vultures are waiting. The vultures are waiting. Go back in the room. What you need? Have it. Give me a hug. How can I help you? Is that how you ask? Turn around and look at me and ask. Yes, sir. As soon as I finish reading, all right? I have 3 pages. 3 pages left. I'll fix you some chocolate milk. We tend to like having cash money in our possession and show it off at every opportunity. This will be a good time to have a big stack of money. Bartering and exchange will become popular again. We may have to exchange money or goods for something else we need. Any cash we have in the bank should be taken out ASAP because they may decide to close. They also got something called a bank holiday. A bank holiday where the bank is closed and you can't get anything from the bank. So watch out for that. That includes emptying your safe deposit box money. Even though it may be worthless, passing out a lot of paper money even though it may be worthless, will make the public feel better for a while until they find that it is unacceptable for trade, and the people who have what they need won't accept it, or that once they spend it, they can't go back to the bank to get any more because the ATM machines are out of service. Blacks are already a bit suspicious of banks. We distrust any system that locks our money up away from us. I agree. We like too much. We like to touch our money and see it. We feel even better if we can carry it around and flash it every once in a while. So even after the dollar fails, many of us will still be attracted to the idea that of actually having in our possession a lot of paper money in large denominations. It will be very heartbreaking for many people in this country to witness the American dollar fall from grace at home and around the world. It has been said by those claiming to know that the FDIC, backed up by the government, will start to limit the amount of cash a bank customer can withdraw from the bank at one time. They already started doing it. They already started doing it. So it is best to start to rearrange your finances now before the real bank rush begins. That CD you have buried in your bank for retirement may change from being a certificate of deposit to cash dissolved, gone. Make your move now. All financial institutions will be affected, including the IRS and your credit union, your social security check, child support, annuity, welfare allotment, and any other form of elective. Your VA payment ain't gonna be coming, baby. And any other form of electronic dismissal of money into your account, including any checks written on paper. Initially, businesses, banks, phone companies, hotels, airlines, trains, buses, etc., will try to continue to function by applying their contingency plans. Currently, major cities such as Flint, Michigan, damn, they were talking about Flint, Michigan back then, and Philadelphia are suffering from lead contaminated water. Flint was the first to reveal that they had an ongoing problem with bad water. They That was a few years ago. Shit, and this is even worse now. Their discovery prompted other cities to evaluate their own water, and to date, 33 major cities report that they have lead contamination in their drinking water. Nothing has been done except telling the citizens to test their own water, drink and cook with only bottled water, and to be patient. A contingency plan is a plan B, a plan to be put into action when your usual system won't work for whatever reason. These instructions are our plan B. We are so dependent, we have never planned for any considered having a plan B for survival. We have grown tolerant, unconcerned. The white people who laid the plans for this country and its various departments of operation to run a nation are not going to throw in the towel easily. Their greed, motivated by their desire to rule, has not been lost on their descendants. It sure hasn't. The white people who rule the country today, and their grandsons and their great grandsons and their great great grandsons, are going to do everything in their power to keep their control intact, meaning white owned and operated. They will not give up their holdings easily. Psychologically, they will not be able to handle it, so they will be working hard to keep things functional on some level. Yeah, they're going to end up killing themselves, jumping out of buildings, just committing suicide left and right. They're not able to handle it. Not necessarily to provide services or assist to us, but to keep their massive egos in check. Historically, they do not accept failure or defeat well. Historically, they do not accept failure or defeat well. They measure, they measure theirs by how many material goods they can produce and sell for a profit. Just like we are consumers now, Most of us will be consumers during any collapse in our formal or an informal structure that keeps America functioning. Right now, popular TV shows and movies are featuring some reinvented characters, ragged, hungry, and ruthless in their quest to kill and eat the people who are not zombies. They travel from neighborhood to neighborhood and come out mostly at night to rampage and pillage any area they can find where the residents have sustenance. They are brutal in their assaults and will eat the face and body of anyone they capture. This is how the apocalypse is being advertised. At some nationwide who did not prepare for the breakdown in society, so they will be murderously desperate. Excuse me. Excuse me. They will be murderously desperate. Murderously desperate. Don't be a zombie, baby. Because you're going to get sucked to the upper room. The upper room. When Jesus comes. Stunning boys. And come out mostly at night to rampage and pillage. To rampage and pillage any area they can find where the residents have sustenance. They are brutal in their assaults and will eat the face and body of anyone they capture. This is how the apocalypse is being advertised. At some point, there will be literally thousands of savages roaming around. What you got? Over the past few years, many of mental health care facilities and homes have been defunded and shut down. The occupants have been turned out into the streets, destined to become homeless vagrants, beggars, disruptive personalities against an unwarned public and angry, mad at the society they believe has failed them. They will feel the same disappointment that sane people experience when fired, laid off, or who are qualified but can't find work. These days, it does not take very much for a stressful situation with no remedy in sight to produce a zombie personality. The onslaught of the heroin epidemic, which replaced crack, further adds another class taking pills, prescription medications, all at the same time. Topping it, and what you gonna do in that run out? Oh, what you gonna do in that run out? What you gonna do in that run out? You can't run off on the plug. What you gonna do? Topping it all off is over the past few years, nearly 30 states have approved legal marijuana, weed, pot, from a country is on some kind of drug, legal or illegal. Predictably, the people they represent no real danger to the public. Alcoholics, on the other hand, will suffer if they don't have access to beer, wine, or liquor daily if they are addicted to being drunk. All of these scenarios represent a problem in our way of life. If our way of life hits the fan, and splatters negatively affecting us all. Moving out of the city, out to places like the Midwest is beginning to sound better and better, since city, suburb, and urban areas will be cluttered with random zombies looking for drugs, food, and oh boy. Think about all them people who living under bridges right now. All them people who on the streets right now. Think about what could happen or what would happen in the case of the world breaking down or shit hitting the fan. Just think about what they gonna do. When the dope man ain't got no more dope, hey, think about it. Think about it. Oh, the dope man gonna be hit first. They gonna need that dope. Your trap house gonna be hit. Any stash you got saved, man, they trying to get it. They want that thing. To decide how much of a safety net they want to have. Stocking up for 2 to 3 weeks is best. You need to stock up for longer. Stock up for longer. Of course, this may be impossible due to storage space limitations. Be aware that if you run out of food and your children are crying from hunger, you are a potential problem for the rest of us, because the situation will possibly force you to hit the streets to try to take food from someone else so you can feed your family. Because you didn't prepare. Don't get caught in that position. Don't get caught in that position. Fuel for your car will also be a problem. Gas prices will go up, and no amount of money will buy you more than the government allotted amount. Gas coupons will be issued. Kerosene, oil, and diesel fuels will also become scarce. People will make runs on the banks to withdraw their money, thinking that money will solve their problems, but it won't. Not entirely. Once the banks are unable to process accounts and cash checks, and people are not able to work because the computers are not operating, we may get reduced to a cashless society. A cashless society is when no money or very little money changes hands for goods or services. Gold and silver will still be considered real money here and abroad. Now is the time for you to gather up all your gold and silver jewelry. That's your 10 karat, 18 karat, and 24 karat earrings, watches, rings, and bracelets that will take on a new value, and you can use them as cash. The bulk of us will not have any gold or silver coins. Bartering and services during an extended crisis of any kind. Bartering. Bartering is always the system of trade. Bartering is always the system of trading and receiving goods and services during an extended crisis of any kind. But you can do that now with your friends and family now. You have a little of this, I have needs, whatever. You can start bartering with people who grow other things. Maybe your neighbor grows cabbage and you don't, but they didn't grow potatoes or corn. You could barter with your potatoes and corn. Maybe they have chickens and eggs. You can start bartering. Maybe you have cows and have milk. You can start bartering with your neighbors now. Start a system now. Start preparing yourself now. Let's think outside the box. For all you smokers, right? For all you smokers, what do you do with your guts? What do you do with the tobacco guts? That, in a time of crisis, can be something to barter with. People who, she said people are going to take advantage of whatever they can. You're gonna have people who are feeding for cigarettes. When I was in the Army, and we went to JRTC, we was out there for a month. We couldn't go to the store. So the people who had cigarettes, when you ran out of cigarettes, you ran out of cigarettes. I don't smoke cigarettes. We got one chance to go to the store. Held on to that pack till everybody ran out. When everybody ran out of cigarettes, I sold that one pack of cigarettes for $100. One pack of cigarettes for $100. Easy money. Them guts out your cigars can be saved. Guts out your cigar can be saved and sold as loosies. You don't know. There are also certain items which make the best mediums of exchange. They are cigarettes. Ooh. That tobacco, man, gonna be a big one. That tobacco and beer, that's gonna be a big one. You will need some of these items to trade. You will not be able to hold a yard sale or flea market to sell your knickknacks to get money. Dispose of those types of items now before you get stuck with a lot of useless stuff with no value that just takes up space. Man, that's that, man. That was chapter 3 and chapter 4 of the urban survival for the years to come. Yes, I'm done reading, sir. I'm done reading. Chapter 3 was water, and chapter 4 was, I want to say, hold on, let me see what chapter 4 was. Come back tomorrow.
We come back tomorrow.
And read chapter 5.
Read chapter 5 to you.
That's right. We're going to read chapter 5 to them. We're almost done with the book, man. We're almost halfway done. We are almost halfway done with the book. Halfway. And we'll keep on reading. Reading with SHILO, baby. I'm glad that y'all stuck with us.
DJ out.
Yeah. We'll come back and read with y'all a later day.
DJ out too.
And we're going to get us some hot chocolate and move forward. So I hope that y'all got something. Go back, listen. Things that you have heard. Look up stuff yourself. Make investments so that way your family can be prepared. DJ, get down and get out. Down and out. Out. Go in the front. In the front, son. I shouldn't have to keep telling you. Go in the front. Thank you. Be prepared. Be prepared for anything. Prepare yourself now. Little stuff. Even if you don't think the system is going to collapse, even if you don't think a zombie is going to come, you know, there are earthquakes, there are hurricanes and tornadoes, floods. There are natural disasters that can happen. Even you can lose your job, you know, so prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Think ahead. Think ahead. While you have plenty now, save up for when you don't. Here and there, like she said, 3 weeks, 6 months to a year of food. Prepare yourself. Shalom, for sure, for sure. Definitely a good read. Definitely a good read. Things we definitely need to think on. And we still got more to go. It's still more to go. There's still more to read about. And we'll keep reading. You have to change your diet. Change your diet. If you don't change your diet now, oh, you're going to be hurting. Oh, yes, you damn right. Worse times have been prophesied. Hey, when you don't have, don't let them take siege of some place. They're already showing that there's food shortages. The distribution across the country is talking about they're at a standstill. These things that we have, I'm gonna do like Joseph did. I'm gonna do like Joseph did in the time of plenty. I'm gonna prepare now. Prepare now. Story upon story. You're so hungry. You know, take advantage. Take advantage of what you got while you can. Stock up on whatever you think you need. Some people don't know about the alkaline grains or the things of that nature. Each one teach one, as they say. Get the things you need now. If you, I pulled it out yesterday. You know, find out. You know, get you a book on how to keep yourself healthy. What vitamins you may need to help sustain you, to help keep you going if you don't have the food at a regular. Do you hunt? Do you, know, if you don't know how to do that stuff, now's the time for you to learn how to do that stuff. Because when your family is hungry, baby, like she said, you don't want to be the ones in the position to where you got to go run out to the stove. You know, all this stuff going on about women, you know, don't need no men. But in them times, women, you don't want to be the ones trying to run into Walmart or trying to fight these lines or standing in long lines that are giving away food and bread and this and that, but only for a certain period of time. You will be taken advantage of. You will be ravished. You know, hey, you better get ready. Get ready now. Do you know how to make bread? Learn how to make bread now, so that way when bread costs $200, Take advantage of what you have. I have pecan trees in my backyard. And something that I've been wanting to try that I haven't tried yet is turning the pecans into pecan flour. I don't know if it can be done. I think it can be done just as easily as people make almond water and all this other stuff. I'm pretty sure I could take the pecans and turn them into a pecan flour to make a pecan bread or pancakes and different things of that nature. But these are things that need to be practiced on now. Utilize your children's life, you and your family life. You need to start thinking about them. This say, or the thought of a man being a protector and a provider. These are the things that go into the thoughts of protecting and providing for your family. Can you do that? Do you have the basic knowledge of how to provide for your family? The hell with the money. $100,000 job a year ain't gonna save you in time of crisis. It's not gonna save you. It's gonna be the men at the bottom of the totem pole who gonna save you, because them gonna be the men who know how to do stuff when the time comes. When your back is really up against the wall, can you maintain and be comfortable with what you got? Have you? Because people at the bottom they should always be preparing for times when they don't have. That was my whole point of starting saving up or prepping certain things. I thought there was gonna be a time where I could lose my job. And it has been. It has been. And my food stores have helped me to where my family don't have to go hungry. My hunting and fishing skills have helped me to where my family don't have to go hungry. Yeah, but that's it, man. That's it. Till next time. Till next time. Reading with Shiloh, man. I'm glad for everybody, man. Thank y'all for everybody who watched, who listening in, who are giving their input. Like, share, tell your people, start the conversation off with your people, with your family, the ones that you trust, not everybody, because you got to remember, if you didn't store it up and saved up, your family going to think to come to you, especially when they haven't stored up or saved up. They're going to come try to raid your pantry. They're going to come want some of your water. They done been lazy all their life, and they think that you're supposed to give when their hands is out. So you need to prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Learn how to say no now. Because it's going to come down to it. You or them. It will come down to that. You are Shalom. Yeah, my bad. Like the 5 virgins who had their oil filled. Be prepared. Be prepared. Start doing that. Start doing it now. But till next time, man. That was a good one. Definitely a good book. Definitely a good read. We'll keep reading and see what else she got to say. And we'll think on the stuff that we already know and keep pushing. Make the changes. Make adjustments. Build our nation back up and be stronger than ever and be prepared for the stuff that the Lord said is going to happen. It's going to happen. Whether you want it to or not, it's going to happen. No ifs, ands, or buts. Prepare yourself. Prepare your mind. Prepare yourself spiritually. Prepare yourself physically. It could be a time where people are burning the Bibles. It was a time where they did that before. So who am I to think that that's not going to happen again? It could be you could be in a position where you don't have any food. I keep the dietary laws in Leviticus 11 and Deuteronomy 14. I keep the dietary laws to the best of my ability. It's going to be a time where you'll be forced, if you ain't have your stuff prepared and ready, people going to try to hand you stuff that you're not supposed to eat. They're going to have pork. They're going to have the rats. They're going to have everything available for you, and you're going to be hungry. Your mouth going to be watering, and all you're going to think about is your stomach growling and your children hollering. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Who do you really believe in? Who do you believe in? Because if you believe in the Most High God, He already let you know what's going to happen. So you don't be caught up in the situation. Yeah. But till next time, man. Shiloh out. Reading with Shiloh. I hope y'all learned something from Miss Shahrazad Ali. I have. And I'm going to continue learning something from her and everybody else that I read about. You know? But first and foremost, I'm gonna learn from the Most High God. I'm gonna take His word over everybody else. But shalom. Till next time.